Are you struggling with drawing accurately? Let me show you a few different things that you can do to improve your accuracy. First of all, let's just use this frog here that we have, just to kind of give you an idea. It doesn't matter what you're drawing, whether you're drawing a frog or a person, landscape, whatever, these rules or these ideas will help you improve your accuracy. So first of all, look at the frog here, and the first thing you want to tell yourself is you want to be able to simplify the process. You want to be able to not just see the object, but you want to see the shapes within the object. So I'm going to put a piece of tracing paper over the top, and we're going to just draw some things on there just to kind of help you see how you can break it down and simplify it. So one thing you can do is, instead of seeing it as an object, see it as a combination of objects. So if you do that, you're going to see there is an oval here, and there is another oval here. We've got kind of an egg or a rounded triangle shape there. And you can see there's a bunch of shapes to that. They're just overlapping, and this is kind of they can be organic shapes, they can be shapes with names, whatever you want, but you can see that there's a combination of shapes. So one of the best things that you can do is think of it as a combination of shapes. Another thing you can do, if you notice when I was drawing these shapes, I didn't just draw one line, but I went around several times. So if you go around several times, you're more sketching it and it's more loose, and you draw several lines, you're giving yourself several options. If you only have one line, you're giving yourself one option. So as you start it, think of it as a sketch and give yourself more than one option, because you're going to adjust it and tweak it as you go along. So you're going to start more of that light, sketchy look, and you're going to start adding these shapes in. So if I started with this, you can see, if I took the picture away, can you see that this is just a combination of shapes? So that's the first thing that I would suggest, is to consider whatever you're drawing a combination of shapes. Another thing to do that will help you a lot is what's called ground reversal. Ground reversal is looking not only at the object that you're drawing, but looking at the space around the object, which is called the negative space. So all of this area around here is the negative space. Negative space. And negative space will help you just as much as looking at the object. So if you looked at the shape right here between his legs, you can see that there is a unique shape in the negative space area here. So one thing that might help you as well is put a border, just a line around your object that you're drawing. You can erase it when you're done, but by putting that edge to it, you have put boundaries on the negative space, and you can see that this is the shape. It doesn't go forever and ever, but it has a stopping point. You can break that down. If you wanted to, you could actually even put an angled line from each corner, so you're breaking it down into 4 separate negative shapes here or more. But any type of putting a boundary on the negative space will help you as well. Another thing that will help you is if you're looking at your object and you're thinking of it as an object, like say this frog, oh, I really want to draw this frog. I already know how to draw a frog, and your mind will sometimes go, I know how to do that, and it'll take over from what you have done before or what you know as a child. So we all have these symbolisms in our head where we draw symbols of houses, we draw symbols of clouds, but that's not really what they actually look like. And maybe you have a symbol of the object you're drawing. So maybe in my mind I'm thinking, I already know what a frog looks like, and subconsciously I start drawing what I think it looks like, and instead of looking at my reference, my mind is taking over and telling me that I already know what I'm drawing. So draw what you see, not what you think you see. So think about it as you're drawing, and remember to focus on your reference. Another key that I think is really important is to make sure you're looking at your reference as much as you're looking at your drawing. If you are just zoned into your drawing and you're not looking at your reference, how can you make it look like your reference? If you're not bouncing back and forth between the two, then you're not going to get that accuracy. So kind of, when I watch my students as they're working, if there's not kind of a pendulum kind of where they're bouncing back and forth pretty rhythmically, then I realize that they're focusing on their drawing and what's in their head instead of actually what they're seeing. So make sure that you're looking at your drawing as much as at your reference. They say that 70% of drawing is observation, learning how to see. So if you're not looking at your reference, then you're not going to be accurate in your drawing. Another thing that will help you as well is if you are drawing and you want to check and see if everything is looking good, try turning your picture upside down. So if I was working on this drawing and I turned my reference picture, my frog upside down here, I'm just going to overlap this just to kind of give you an idea, but you can see that because I've turned it upside down, if I'm working on my drawing, I could start looking at shapes. I would start looking at things just a little bit differently. Because I've turned it upside down, I'm not seeing it as an object, I'm actually seeing it as a combination of shapes or as an abstract. So now instead of looking at this and seeing a frog, I'm looking at and I'm seeing, oh, there's these arches in this triangle, and I'm seeing things totally different. So by turning your picture upside down or turning your picture even sideways will help you see it differently. So it will change your perspective. There's a bunch of other things that you can do to help improve your accuracy, but some of the key things are the ground reversal, the looking at the negative space as much as the object. There's also turning it upside down to check it out, making sure you're bouncing between your drawing and your reference as you look, and doing the basic shapes that you see within the object just to get started. The last one that I really think is important is don't do a refined drawing to begin with. All right, so let me just put another piece of paper over here. If I am doing a refined drawing, it's very easy to want to be a perimeter drawer. And when you are a perimeter drawer, you're actually looking at the outside edge. So I would start and I would draw around here and I would go up. And if I didn't have it underneath, I wouldn't maybe not get my shapes, maybe my angle right or the length right. And what happens is as you make your way around, it doesn't match up. So when you become a perimeter drawer, you're giving yourself some problems by worrying about drawing around the outside edge. And if you get clear over to here, and then maybe you've made your leg a little bit too long and it doesn't match up, then you're kind of stumped and you don't quite know what to do. So don't draw along the outside edge and just look at the perimeter. Look at everything. And don't just draw one line. Try to keep it loose and light. This is very dark, and this is just one line. If I was to draw the frog, I would try to draw several lines and keep it nice and sketchy and give myself some options. And don't worry about the messiness of it, because you can refine that when you transfer it to the nice paper. If you want to do a finished piece out of it, you can choose the lines that you want to put in and get rid of all the other lines. So that's the last thing I would suggest, is make sure that you don't become a perimeter drawer. Make sure that you're looking at the shapes within, that you're drawing a bunch of different lines to help you with that. So when you start doing your sketching or your drawing, remember all these different things that will help you. Basically, just remember to not look at it just one way. Look at it a variety of different ways. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to get into the habit of drawing daily, check out my 30-day drawing streak course, where we take one picture each day and I will show you some tips and tricks to improving your drawing accuracy, a variety of different ways and different things that you can do to make your drawing more accurate and help you get into that habit of drawing every day. I hope that helps.